Did y'all, I had, remember, was it in this class that one of the kids from Abernathy wanted to write about COVID vaccinations? I have another student on Tuesday, Thursday that wants to write about that. No video from Source One student. There we go. All right, we're recording, but no school. Okay. I'll give it another minute or two. The two documents you have, those are not in Blackboard. I just made copies of them, so I'll have to load them in, I guess.
So the only thing that's due are
You have the grammar quiz. That's Friday. Sunday you have a draft of the narrative due. Okay. But I have got to convince these kids at the school. I sent their facilitator a message last night and said, your kids are not writing. They're not writing in a word processing document. They're writing in the submission area. They have to do it in a word processing document. Let me show you one. It's hilarious looking. Where'd I put it? Where'd they go? Right here. I'm blind. This was single space, and this is how it looked. I couldn't read it. And there's this SharePoint thing down here, and I'm like, no. I don't know what it is. There's one, there was no heading. I wrote the name up at the top, so I knew who it was. They need some work. So, the fun of grading in college. Okay. All right, you know what's that? Do you see, can you tell where I was? Sonic, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That was
I was all.
My Sonic app. Okay. No, she just recognized it.
No, it was just, it's down the street, like Sonic's right here and the Rose's right here.
Well, they're really close, actually. There are two Sonics in my area, so it doesn't matter if I'm at my house, it will pick up both Sonics. So, morning, J.C.
Morning.
All right, there's the book. Okay. I'm just going to try one word. It's going to be school and a question mark. Okay, they haven't connected yet. Okay, cool. She's up and ready, so. But she was brave to send me that message. All of us. We used to have a page here that told you who to contact, but no one went in here, so there used to be two other guys that taught at night, but those classes aren't making.
I had one night class and I would have to, cause it was 5:30 to like 6:55.
So you had to go twice a week. Yeah, that's tough. In graduate school, I took several night classes, which were from 6 to 9. And we do have those here, but it's really tough to be gone that long. And if you miss, I remember I had to do a presentation one night, and this is graduate school for English. I had to do a presentation one night, and I had a sinus headache, and I threw up outside of the building, went in and did my presentation, left at break time, halfway through, and then said, I just have to go home because I felt so bad. So then we have a final or an exam over what it was on it, and they covered stuff that I wasn't there for, and I got it wrong. I was not happy about that. This is not fair. I don't want to restore pages. Okay. Oh, there we are. Good morning, Abernathy. How's it going? Okay. All right, we're going to do a little grammar review today. And I'm going to see why Grammar Bites is not working. So, sorry. There we go. Crosbyton and Lorenzo. Good morning, everyone. Let me try. There's that stupid thing on Grammar Bites where it's got that banner that won't go away. I thought I clicked on it. It's still there. It is not going away. Oh, if you make it really small, it's not a problem. Okay. Let's see. New for teachers. Okay. All right, so you're gonna be tested over comma splices and fused run-on sentences on, well, that's an interesting view from the back of the room. Cool. You guys looked purple. Did you notice how the color changes? Oh, kind of interesting. All right, it doesn't matter, you know. Okay, Grammar Bites. This is that one, you just type in Grammar Bites or Chomp Chomp. And if you make the screen really small, you can get that banner to go away. Weekly grammar workout. Okay, exercises. Okay, I'm going to click on that and open up comma splices and fused run-on sentences. Let's just see. The nice thing about this is you can review yourself just for a few minutes right before you do it, okay? But when you go into this particular website, it's all free, but it gives you examples. For instance, like here it says, a comma splice contains two main clauses, illegally joined. I like that phrase, illegally joined. That's a lot of English teachers feel like that, okay? Joined by a comma. So you have a main clause plus the comma right there plus the main clause, and that equals death, okay? Or a bad grade. So a fused sentence contains two main clauses illegally run together with no punctuation. So they give you that kind of visual reminder. So you start here to get to the exercises, and so they give you an example. Let's see if I can make it big enough. So, when you read this one, it says, Julie is a real hypochondriac when her stomach hurts. She is certain that she has a bleeding ulcer, and if she has a backache, she believes that she has cancer of the spine. A hypochondriac is somebody who always thinks they're sick, okay? I kind of thought my mother was that way up until we figured out what it was. So what you have here, it says, is it a comma splice? If it's a comma splice, you choose the left door, and if it's a fused run-on, you choose the right door. So as I'm looking through here, there's some questions you have to answer. Julie is a real hypochondriac. That's a complete thought, okay? Then you have the word when her stomach hurts. When is an AWUBIS word? Remember I gave you the AWUBIS handout last week? Okay. If you don't have it, I can re-give it to you, okay? And when signals a dependent clause, and then we see a comma, she is certain that she has a bleeding ulcer. So would you, if you think your sentence goes, Julie is a real hypochondriac when her stomach bleeds, she is certain that she has a bleeding ulcer. I hear two complete thoughts in that, okay? And if she has a backache, she believes that she has cancer of the spine. So my issue is you need something here. And if you have something where you've got an independent clause backing up to a dependent clause, you have to decide, does the dependent clause go with the independent clause? The AWUBIS, does it go with it? And you wouldn't really say Julie is a real hypochondriac when her stomach hurts. And the reason is because a hypochondriac doesn't just have stomach pains. Everything makes them sick. So I'm going to say that sentence is a fused run-on. So I would come down here, and I would hit this one, the old door, and it says, wow! There's sound effects with it, isn't it cool? You want a cool cyber car, the item was fused. Get an explanation. So whether you get it right or wrong, you can always get an explanation, and they break it down for you. So they show you that that's where the issue is. The problem occurs between hypochondriac and when. So I would suggest, if you're not good at fused run-on sentences and comma splices, that you go and work in this a little bit. Because can you see how that would be helpful? You can see where it occurs. If you are someone who has issues, you don't know what an independent clause is, it's a complete thought. It doesn't leave any questions to be answered, all right? You have to have a subject and a verb. And a lot of the grading that I was doing yesterday and late Sunday, I had a lot of people who didn't really, especially when I go to the movies. That would be their sentence. Well, especially when you go to the movies, what? See how that's not a complete thought? It's finishing a previous thought or starting a new thought. So you got to watch out for that. I'll move on to the next one, and we will see item 2. My cat Buster loves to nap on warm appliances. When he sleeps on top of the microwave oven, his tail swipes the glass door like a windshield wiper. So, Buster sounds like an interesting cat. Is it a comma splice? If it is, that's what you answer. If it's a fused run-on, you'll do that. I'm just gonna say it's a comma splice. I know the answer, but I'm gonna say it's a comma splice this time. So let's try and see if that's right. You lose. The item did not contain a comma splice. That's almost disgusting looking, isn't it? Okay, keep the guinea pig as your consolation prize. My son and daughter-in-law have 2 guinea pigs. Ugh. Get an explanation. So here's where you go in and look, and just to let you see. Either way, you get that explanation. My cat Buster loves to nap on warm appliances when he sleeps on top of the microwave oven. Again, that's why I gave you that Awubis handout, because you need to have that handy. Because I'm just snarky enough that I might have put something in there that has an Awubis to fool you, okay? And then remember, an Awubis is a subordinating conjunction that creates dependency. And you remember last week when I said, if you start a sentence with because the light was out in the parking lot, comma, I could not find my keys when I lost them. Because the light was out in the parking lot, see how you're waiting? Okay. I get the feeling some of you are like, oh, I don't like this already. Grammar's, yeah. But Awubis, actually it's the top document here. It's the one that looks like this, and it gives you the acronym, and it tells you what are the subordinating conjunctions. So remember, and basically what it says, when it begins a sentence, you put the comma after the end of the dependent clause, not after the subordinating conjunction, but after at the end of the dependent clause. When it's in the middle of a sentence, you don't put a comma in front of it. It's not a coordinating conjunction. So I don't want to see commas in front of these words or right after them, either place, okay? So, well, that's it. And I created that document, by the way. That one I have to credit on. So that is Grammar Bites. So if you need some help, that's awesome. So let's pull up, look at the one that says run-ons, fused sentences, and comma splices. You got a couple of extra sheets besides the ones we worked on, okay? That's the PDF, so I've got to be on the Bing. Okay. Not crazy about Bing. And it just goes over the same points again. They tend to be taught together because they're both just basically not punctuating the sentence correctly is what they are. And they're considered major errors. And let me tell you, depending on who you get, I'm not as tough, but normally it's a letter grade for everyone in an essay. So if you saw you had CS or FRO, that's my abbreviations for comma splice and fused run-on, because it takes a while to write that out. You would have, if you had one in every sentence, you probably got a failing grade. I'm just telling you. But if you had a couple and you made sense, I can be generous, because the biggest problem we run into is that in contemporary fiction right now, when you're reading the newspaper, they don't care about commas at all. They leave them out. So, but when you're in English land, you have to do what English land wants you to do. Okay. Why am I pointing at my computer? I don't know. All right. So they show you a few sentences. Margaret Atwood is best known for her novels, her essays, and her poems are also worth reading. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. There should be commas. It's a list. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's giving another sentence, okay? Or they're giving another sentence. So here it should be. Margaret Atwood is best known for her novels, comma, her essays and poems are also worth reading. That's a comma splice. So you got to finish it. Ask yourself how many independent clauses. So figure it out that way. So they give you 2 examples on how to finish it. Semicolon, comma and a conjunction, period in a capital letter. Your choice. They're all right. You're not going to do that on the test. On the test, I corrected it. I went home and did that on Monday afternoon. Your test will ask you true or false. True is there, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. I don't want to spread my germs. So hey, it's better than me just spewing it out, and you're sitting there going, she's going to infect me. Okay. You answer true if there's no grammatical error. If the sentence is grammatically correct, you select true. If it is grammatically incorrect, you select false. This is the easiest way I can give you the test. I was going to try to do multiple choice and just have 2 choices where I'd either say it was a comma splice or a fused run-on. And you are forced to have 4 options in multiple choice. So I could have gone back and gone A is one, B is the other, and then C is not an option, D is not an option, but that seemed like a lot of extra work, so. So you just have to decide if it's easier just to say, yes, it's correct, no, it isn't. So, you just have to be able to tell it. All right, so let's look at these. I'm gonna have y'all do some, and I'm gonna go stand over by the, sound so I can hear you, and we'll answer them, okay? So, they give you some more examples. So this was the achievement at Columbia College. All right, exercise. Each sentence below, it tells you, consists of two or more independent clauses. Place brackets around each independent clause and determine, whether the sentence is a comma splice or a fused sentence. It says correct each sentence with one of the four techniques you just learned. At this point, let's just focus on deciding if it's a fused run-on or a comma splice, okay? Actually, I might get one of y'all to stand up here and listen and tell me what they say. So, there are, how many? 10 sentences. So, you don't have to rewrite the sentence, just correct it the best you can. Let me see if I can write on this. Nope. Draw. I can draw on it. Awesome. I'm excited. So do all 10. And again, when you take that test on Friday, what can you have in your hands? Any worksheets you've been given, okay? But remember, you only have an hour. I would think we'd have a Jessie and a JC in the same class.
It was like that going in Chicago too.
Really? There was, it's odd. Yeah. Lucky Zach, the only guy with all the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I was just underlining the directions, so. I'm so excited I can do that now. I can't do it in Word documents anymore. You're done? You think so? It's okay. Hey, listen, no. The only grammar expert's me, and I still get stuff wrong, so. Just do your best. Give you a couple more minutes to finish these, because you can just correct, you just put the brackets around and you just put CS or FRO. Huh? No, you don't have to correct it. Just put brackets. Just put brackets around the independent clauses and write if it's a CS or an FRO. That's all you have to do. I'm not worried about you correcting it, 'cause I'm not asking you to do that on the test. That would've been a much harder test for me to create. I mean, I whipped out the true false in about 15 or so less minutes, so I just didn't wanna have to grade. And by the way, you will not be told which ones you got right or wrong, because I know, particularly those kids at the high schools, if they're taking it in class, somebody will finish it fast and they'll go, hey, I got 100%, or, they'll cheat. They'll cheat. And I'm already letting you use notes, so.
Excuse me, Miss Thompson?
Flip over to me for a second. Just got an email.
Miss Thompson?
Yes.
We don't have any of those papers or anything that y'all have.
I'm sorry, what?
What are we supposed to be doing right now?
On that worksheet, the one that I showed you up there, you're supposed to put brackets around the independent clauses and tell me if it's a common splice CS or if it's run on FRO, okay? That's all.
We can't find that worksheet.
I emailed them. I swear I emailed them. Well, what's real interesting is I had a student Tuesday, Thursday. That would have gone to Miss Chen, right?
Miss Macias.
Is that Lorenzo telling me that?
No, Abernathy.
Abernathy didn't get it? I didn't send it to Miss Macias. Hold on, let me get it going. Okay. Oh, maybe I skipped her. I thought, it's the beginning of the semester and I've got so many schools sometimes. I'll just send it right now, okay? Miss Macias had COVID last year. Well, it was a bad year. Okay. Worksheets. Sorry, okay. There's comma splice. Okay. The good news is that I've done it so much. There it is, all right. All right, I just sent it to Miss Macias, sorry. We'll go ahead and go on and do it, and then you guys can work on it tomorrow in class together, okay? You'll have seen it. Sorry about that. I thought, I was sitting there thinking at one point last night, did I send this to her or not? And I guess I didn't, because I count to see how many people I've sent it to. Okay. I guess I skipped. It happens. I'll get it down eventually. It's just, 'cause I have, and like last year I had the exact same facilitators. This year I have 3 new ones. And so I'm having to get those in my head. All right. Sorry about that, Dawn. I don't need that up there. Okay. So you guys pay attention at Abernathy while we're doing this, okay? Normally it's supposed to highlight around the edges of the square so I can tell which school, but it's not doing that. The system's really old. All right, I'm going to flip over here and let me make it, it's still a little small. Let me make it bigger. Whoa. I wish there was somewhere in between. All right, so the first sentence says, Ellen had her hands full taking care of Stephen. He was at the age where he was full of mischief. So your first independent clause begins at Ellen, stops at Stephen. I see it. So the second one is at he and ends at mischief. So you have a comma splice in this one. Easy thing to do is put a comma in a conjunction. And he was at the age where he was full of mischief. See how easy that is to do? Okay, I'm already seeing you guys correcting. It's okay. It's okay. So when you look at the test, here's a clue when you take that test. If you see a comma in the middle of it, that should the comma has to be there for a reason. Okay? So chances are it could be a comma splice, or it could be a comma after a dependent clause that begins the sentence. So that's what you're gonna have to figure out, or it could be a comma in a list. Aren't I nice? But that's really the only, I did not try to make this super complicated, I'll be honest, okay? So, if there's nothing in it, it could be a fused run-on, maybe, okay? The sky turned gray, bolts of lightning flashed, and the east thunder rolled across the mountains. Oh, good heavens, there's a lot going on in this one. The sky turned gray, bolts of lightning flashed in the east, thunder rolled across the mountains. So here's your first independent clause. Whoops, my bad. Let me find that eraser. I'm so excited about this, guys. Since I haven't been able to do it in a Word document lately. So bolts of lightning flashed in the east, thunder rolled across the mountains. So this is a fused run-on. So Claire's not making a correction, so you got it right? There's a lot happening in there. Now, what some students have been taught is that you can put a comma after that first one. And, you know, that you can put a comma because it's a list, but they are also independent clauses. So in English, you need to have something between every single one. The sky turned gray, semicolon, bolts of light flashed in the east, semicolon, thunder rolled across. That makes them all of it. And part of what happens with the semicolon is it shows that things are of equal value. You get that? It's like using an and, because blank and blank means those things, it's a math formula, are equal. So if you join something with a semicolon, they're of equal value, but you didn't want to stop for that extra word. If you do the comma between, then you've got to have a conjunction. The period in the capital letter, then you've got three short, choppy sentences together, maybe not the best writing. Okay, so FRO. Americans are more conscious of the need for fitness. They have become active sports enthusiasts. They are more interested in good nutrition. They are aware of the need to reduce stress. Wow. Just look at all your commas. There's brackets here, so you go to the first comma, second comma. This is like the previous one, the third one, and then, so you have 4. So do you want to join all of those with conjunctions? No. And what I see, what I don't like in this sentence is that you have they have, they are, they are. I would say do some sentence combining. Americans are more conscious of the need for fitness, semicolon. They have become avid sports enthusiasts, comma, more interested in good nutrition, comma, and aware of the need to reduce stress. I would have combined those last 3 together into one long sentence. That's what I would do. Because it's a more interesting sentence, and I don't have to read they are, they, you know, I don't have to read that repetitive stuff. Television can be entertaining. It can also be boring. Okay. So this was CS up here. This one's going to be another comma splice because there's that comma sitting in between the two. You could go comma and television can be entertaining. It can comma and it can also be boring. That's they're the same point. They're the same value, right? Children learn from their parents' examples. Parents' behavior is an important part of their children's experience. So, if nothing else, you should see how to make plural possessives in this sentence, okay? Children learn from their parents' examples. Parents means you have 2. And those examples belong to the parents. I'm just throwing that in there. Parents' behavior, see how it looks the same, is an important part of their children's experience. So you have 2. This is an FRO. So I'm not crazy about seeing parents' behavior right after parents' examples, you know. But that's a whole different thing. That's subjective, what you like in writing. But the best writing these days is very concise. I have a student on Tuesday, Thursday, who just loves to ramble on. Because he will stay and talk to me after class. He's bonding with me, and that's great. It's one of my SPC kids, and I don't mind that. But he likes to talk, so he likes to write lots more than he needs to write. So that's something to watch out for. Let's look at the life of a farmer is a lonely one. Is there not a website for farmers finding girls? What's it called? Why am I staring at Claire, huh? Farmers, Only, farmers only, okay, hold on a second. I'm just curious to see what it looks like, you know, hey, farmers only. Have you gone there? Okay, I was just wondering. Farmersonly.com dating site for farmers. So that could be farmers looking for other farmers? Maybe. You know, they've had the ads on TV. Yeah, I mean, but meet a real farmers on the #1 farmers dating website, okay. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me click and see what it shows. Let me just look and see what it shows. It's gonna show all these really hot farmers and they don't, oh, you have to put your email in. I don't think so. I do not wanna get email from farmersonly.com. I'm looking for an old farmer who's got kids running the farm and I don't have to do anything. But, oh wait, I'm still married, okay. Better not plan on that. All right, number 6, sorry. The life of a farmer is a lonely one. His opportunities to socialize are limited because of the constant attention he must give to the things he cultivates. Oh, that actually sounds like it came from their website, doesn't it? The life of a farmer is a lonely one. There's your first dependent clause. His opportunities to socialize are limited. And here we have the awubis word because. So that is a dependent clause coming up because of the constant attention. You need a comma. Oh, whoa, wait a second. You must give because of the constant attention. Let me fix that. See, I was reading and wasn't paying attention. Because of the constant attention you must give to the things you cultivate. That's all a one long dependent clause right there. Okay? So you only have 2 independent clauses here. This one and this one. But notice there wasn't a comma in front of the because right there. So, semicolon, I'm trying to think. I might do a semicolon, moreover, comma, moreover his opportunities. See how that says, in addition to the fact that it's only, he has limited opportunities. So I might do that in there because I think it says that this is your problem, and the result is that he's even more lonely because of his job. I'm feeling sorry for farmers now. Oil, I can't even say the word, oil imports are very expensive. We must learn to be economical in our use of energy. All right, well, how true. Oil imports are very, where should I put it? Somebody? Expensive. Thank you. I appreciate it, JC. We must learn to be economical in our use of energy. And there's a comma in there. You could say, this is another one where you could use a semicolon. It's a comma splice. These have been comma splices. Sorry, I'll put that out there for you. I would say semicolon, therefore, comma. That's how I would do this one. Oil imports are very expensive, semicolon, therefore we must learn to be economical. Cause and result kind of thing. So when you use a conjunction, it puts meaning in it. So that's what you have to realize about that. Oh, we're up to number 8. Advanced methods of communication have made the world smaller. People are brought closer together. We find ourselves with are thus brought closer together. We find ourselves with common interests. All right, so we know the first one begins here. Any idea, guys, where the first independent clause ends? Any ideas out there? Jesse? Sorry.
Smaller.
Smaller? That's right. Okay, so the next one's got to begin here. People are thus brought closer together. Where's that next one in, Zach? Together. After together, yeah. And we find ourselves with common interests. So you have, this is full of comma splices. And when you do this when you write, that's not just one error, that's 2 errors. That's 2 major errors in one sentence. The air conditioner just cut off and now I'm cold because it cut off. It's crazy. So, advanced methods of communication. You know, there are various ways to do it. I'm not worried about you correcting it necessarily. Again, you don't have to do that on the test. But, you know, semicolon, semicolon, comma, conjunction, period, capital letter. The main thing to be careful about with the period and the capital letter is that you don't create a bunch of short sentences that are all within like 6 to 8 words. That's boring. Somebody wrote their paragraph, and it was about, out of 8 sentences, 5 of them were between 6 and 8 words. And so they're very short and choppy. You know, but when they're short and choppy, you punctuate them correctly, most likely, right? So there's a reason why people do that. I get that. But sometimes it gets boring for the reader. So be careful on your narratives that you don't write so much, but it's all short and choppy. All right, we're up to 9. Some scientists call the computer essentially stupid, others fear its capacity to think. What is it? Terminator. Yeah, we create computers and eventually they're gonna kill us all and take over the world. All right, some scientists, what do you think, Megan? Where's the first one in? After stupid, yeah. Others fear its capacity to think. Yeah. So I see no punctuation, so this has to be a fused right on. All right. Now, you can't make that assumption on the test, because all you're saying is if it's true, if it's grammatically correct, and false if it's incorrect, okay? So you cannot make that assumption. On this one, you can. Because that's how they set up the worksheet, that it was either gonna be one or the other. Fixing it, a couple of ways. College freshmen need help in making the transition from high school. The sheer size of most colleges can be a problem to new students. I don't know about you guys, but I graduated with 32, went to Texas Tech. I was so excited to have more than 16 people sitting in the class with me, I have to be honest. You know, it was awesome. Because I sat with those 32 people for 7 years. It was time to move, it was time to move on. Of course, out of 32, 25% of them came to Texas Tech. So that was funny. Yeah, I actually roomed with one of the people I graduated with my sophomore year, so. All right, I'm sorry, college freshmen, what do you think, Claire? Need help in making the transition from high school? The sheer size of most colleges can be a problem? After school, yeah. The infamous Monday size of 14, right? And you're sitting in a classroom with 5 people, not counting, there's actually 35 in this class. But your teachers didn't just teach high school, they also probably taught middle school too, right? No, we have like junior high or middle school teachers. At a different building? Okay. I mean, in my school, the English teachers taught 7th, 9th, and 11th, and 8th, 10th, and 12th. You know? Oh, that was enough, huh? But never had a whole lot of students, okay. All right, cool. And then you've got the sheer size of most colleges can be a problem to new students. Okay, that's one of those transition things, so. I think the most entertained I was in my monster biology class. And I swear that biology class had Hinckley in it, the one that tried to assassinate Reagan. He went to Tech. He could have been in the class, I don't know. It had 500 people in it. But, you know, I like to think he was in it, so I'm gonna leave that and get rid of my changes. Let's open up the Word document for comma splices and fused run-ons. I'm gonna make the font bigger. Here we go. And so once again, you'll notice on everything I'm giving you, you are getting explanations for what they are, trying to help you out, okay? So comma splice, it tells you what it is. Independent clause, that's what this stands for here. When you're looking, a comma splice occurs when 2 independent clauses are joined only by a comma. Let's see if it'll let me draw. Nope, I did something to it at some point in time. So, I see means independent clause and independent clause. So they give you an example. We hiked in the Blue Ridge Mountains for 3 weeks, comma, we were very tired. Some ways to correct them, they give you that. Don't simply delete the comma. This will create a run-on or fused sentence. The easiest thing to do, if you've got the comma in there and you think that's what it is to add the conjunction. Just make sure you add the right conjunction. So for each sentence, write CS if the sentence is comma splice or C if the sentence is correct. All right, so that's all you have to do. So that's closer to what we're going to be doing on our test. Give you a couple more minutes, all right? I was just reading all the sentences. I haven't done the exercises, so. I actually have an answer key, but this is not bad. I just thought I'd print it. Sometimes I have issues when it comes to parallelism. That's hard. But I don't test you over parallelism, so. That's good. It's hard, isn't it? It's where everything has to be set up in the same grammatic patterns.
Miss Thompson,
Yes. Hold on. let me get
we
over
don't
here.
have that paper.
Is that Abernathy again?
No, it's Lorenzo.
But you had the other one?
Yeah, we had the other one, but we don't have that one.
Okay. Well, I'll resend it to, have something, Ms. Chen. I'm still getting this down.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, you don't need to see me doing my email, do you? That would be boring. You see enough of me. All right. All right, there we go. It's on its way. It's going through. It's going through. It's going somewhere to a server, being sent to her email, which is located 30 miles away? 25? I've driven through Lorenzo a lot. I like going there. It's an interesting little small town. I like their school with the bomb shelter in the basement. What can I say? It's cool. Okay. So Lorenzo will do the same thing with you that we did with Abernathy, do you have any of the pages yet? Have you got this one? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a hands up, thumbs up? Okay, all right. And again, you can use these on the test. But you might be better served to go in and work in Grammar Bites, just to get some practice. Because I actually that's what I was doing. I was pulling up another exercise from Grammar Bites, thinking we could maybe do, work on that one because it's a little bit different. All right, let's do this one, okay? My apartment is too small. I have no room for my treadmill and exercise bike. If we think back to the previous one, you have, I can't do anything. My apartment is too small is an independent clause, okay? I have no room for my treadmill and exercise bike is another independent clause. So this is a comma splice. Can you see, my apartment is too small. I have no room for my treadmill. Somebody has a treadmill and exercise bike to go in an apartment? Wow. Okay, sorry. I'm exhausted. However, I will go to school anyway. I'm exhausted. There you go. There's another one. I will go to school anyway. This is a comma splice. The error, though, is that it's not, the comma splice occurs here. That should be a semicolon. That's one of those conjunctive adverbs or adverbial conjunctions, however you want to look it up, should be a semicolon. All right? That's how you would fix that one. So it's not the comma after however, it's the comma in front of it. Tom opened his freezer. Then he noticed that 2 cans of beer had exploded. I didn't think beer would freeze. I've never put beer in the freezer. Has anybody had this happen? You're kind of grinning like, has that happened to you?
I was about to incriminate myself.
You were about to I'm not going to turn you into the police. That's not my
I
job.
was gonna say, beer freezes, but liquor doesn't.
Okay. All right. That's, it could have been an experiment in high school in chemistry, right? All right. The issue, though, is what do we do? This is a comma splice. How do you fix it? You have to have a semicolon on this one. Just like before. It's got to be a semicolon. All right. Although I understand the definition, comma splices still confuse me. So, let's look at this. Although I understand the definition, is that a complete thought? It's not, because of the awubis word that begins it, although. So this is correct. This is not a comb splice. Now get that? See that? That's why having that AWUBIS page will help you out, okay? It'll help you catch words like that. And when you put that introductory dependent clause, some of y'all may have seen those comments on your paragraphs already. When you have an introductory dependent clause, you have to have the comma at the end of the clause. So that one's correct. Let's get out of there. A comma splice occurs when this is getting boring. They're giving us the information, aren't they? A comma splice occurs when two complete sentences are joined only by a comma. I need to remember that rule. An independent clause occurs right here, all the way up to comma. And by golly, I need to remember that rule. There's also one, so this one is a comma splice. This one is incredibly confusing. It means it is or it has. Its apostrophe is always incorrect. I see that too. Okay. Your first independent clause goes to has. Second was this one. Its is always incorrect. So this is a comma splice. So we're getting some other grammar rules thrown in. That's kind of cool. Because we don't get apostrophes. They're hard, I guess. I hiked for 5 hours yesterday. Consequently, I'm too tired to go hiking again today. Here's your two independent clauses. You've got a comma here. That's a comma splice. That should be a semicolon, because guess what consequently is? It's a conjunctive adverb, and when that's the case, you got to put the comma after to. We'll go home. I'm just writing it in red so you can see. I can make this a little bit bigger. Okay. For example, I like to read suspense novels, email my friends, and play cards with my daughter. So we can forget about, for example, that's only 2 words. That's an introductory prepositional phrase. That's all it is. It has it actually modifies the entire sentence, so it's probably an adverbial one. So I like to read suspense novels. That's a complete thought. Email my friends. Is that a complete thought?
No.
And how about play cards with my daughter? All right, so this is all one long independent clause, so this one's correct. Okay, so it's just C. All right, my son Jeffrey plays drums in a band called Talent Scam, and he likes to surf it. Should be Playa Linda. Playa Linda? Is that how you say it in Spanish? Playa Lakes is what we call them, right? Okay. I was sitting here doing Spanish vowels in the line. I, A, E, O, U. But what is Y? How's Y is pronounced? Okay. My son Jeffrey plays drums in a band called Talent Scam. It's been a long time since I did Spanish. There we go. There's an independent clause, and he likes to surf at Playa Linda Beach. There's a second one, but I see a comma and a conjunction, so coordinated conjunction, so this is correct. Did we get that one right? Yeah, okay. Some people value money and material possessions. Others value love and family. One of the things I didn't mean to underline. That's the great thing about Control Z. When you screw up, if you just go Control Z, it takes it back to what it was. I like it. Some people value money and material possessions. That's an independent clause. Others value love and family is another independent clause. So you've got 2 independent clauses joined by a comma splice. See that? Huh?
That's not correct.
No. Others can be the subject of the sentence. Yeah. And the reason why it is the subject of the sentence, over here you have some people value money. See how you've got some, but it gives you a noun after it, so it tells you how many people. Some people value money. And then you've got others value love and family. So we know that other people value love and family. We know that that's referring back to people again. That's why that's an independent clause. Okay? So there's those 2 done. I'll get out of that one and not save all that highlighting and stuff I did. Oh, interesting. We have to turn in our census numbers today. I get to drop someone out of a class today. So, let's go look, I'm gonna go back over, we've got just a few minutes left, just go back into Grammar Bites. This is, one that is where you have to figure out how to fix it. It's a little bit harder. Lorna did not last long in Mr. Wolcott's busy office. Her long fingernails made accurate typing impossible, and her abrasive manner scared away too many potential clients. So all you have to do is fix that. So you can do office her, office comma because her, or office period her. And you have to decide which one's right, A, B, or C. Did not last long in Mr. Wolcott's office. So we say, comma, because her long nails made her accurate typing in her abrasive manner, that would work. Or office period. I might go with C on this one. When you look at it, where's the answer? So let's click, I'm gonna click on C. See what it says. It's coming to me slowly here. Gosh only knows. I guess we're not gonna find out. All right, since we're almost out of time. Grammar quiz, Friday. I got applause, that's awesome. Okay, so grammar quiz Friday. You can use whatever handouts you have. Okay? It opens at 8, closes at midnight. You have to take it on Friday. I get people going, well, I tried to take the test and I couldn't find it. You couldn't find it because you went in on Saturday. And you have to go into week 3 to find it. You go in the week where it's scheduled to be taken. And then Sunday night, you turn in a draft of your narrative. And it has to be done in a word processing document of some kind. But make sure it's Word, PDF, or RTF when you turn it into Blackboard. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. I think next week I start coming out to see you guys, so that's all I got. And again, I am opening up chapter quizzes to accommodate Jessie, who transferred in this week, so don't freak out about chapter quizzes over 1 and 2. And I'll be opening up the next chapter quizzes the next week for her to make those up, so if you didn't do 3 and 4, you can make them up at the same time.
I'll probably try to 1 and 2 Friday, and then 3 and 4 Saturday.
No, you can't do them, I don't have those set up to be done. So let's just get 1 and 2 done, we'll do 3 and 4 next week,
Okay.
okay? Because I would rather have you focusing on the narrative instead of reading the chapters.
Oh, I thought that was the little fishing thing that.
The what, fishing? Okay,
Oh, this right here?
oh, it looks like one, but it actually contains wipes from last May.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they've been sitting in there, nobody's used them, so. They're
Your
probably
conference
still
is
effective.
scheduled to end in 2
All right.
minutes.
I'm good.
All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Okay.
What? I took the mic off? I don't think it works.
I actually reprinted my roster so I'd have them. Okay.